In this section, we're going to evaluate trig functions for any angle, and it can be in radians, it can be in degrees. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to use these trig definitions. Okay. So in the first one, I am given that tangent of some angle is equal to 4 over 3, and tangent is defined as y over x. So that tells me that my y is 4, my x is 3. However, is it really? Because we're actually in quadrant 3. And to be in quadrant 3, you need to have a negative. You need to go back and down to get to a point. So actually, because of this extra clue, because we're in quadrant 3, that tells us the sign of the x and the y values back there. Okay, so that's a little bit tricky. Now, all right, let's see, I went back 3, I'll just call that 3, and down 4. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a little right triangle in here. This is negative 3, that's negative 4, and now I need to use Pythagorean theorem to find my radius. And so we'll just plug that in. X squared plus y squared equals r squared. So we get negative 3 squared plus negative 4 squared equals r squared. 9 and 16 equals r squared. So we have r equals 5. And technically we would be taking the positive and negative. Your radius is always going to be positive. So it'll always be the positive one for that radius. Great, so now I know my x and my y and my r. R is 5. Okay, so now I can figure out all of my trig functions. Sine, cosine, tangent was given. That simplified to 4 over 3, and now I need to get them all. So see, just organize myself, and cotangent. Okay, so sine is y over r, so that would be negative 4 over 5. And cosecant is the reciprocal, so 5 over 4, and that whole thing is negative. Cosine is x over r, so that is negative 3 over 5. And secant is the reciprocal, so that would be negative 5/3. And we were already given tangent, so cotangent is the reciprocal. Okay, so really the thing that's tricky to keep track of is it does help to draw a picture, because we need to know this, what quadrant we're in, and what if x and y are positive or negative in each of those quadrants. Okay, now extending this a little bit more, sometimes it's useful to express a trig function in terms of sine or cosine. So let me just show you kind of how this works. So if I have cotangent of some angle, I'm going to use the definition of cotangent, that is cosine over sine. Okay, and now I'm being asked to just simply have an expression only with cosine, so I am not supposed to have a sine in my expression. So I'm going to use the fact that sine squared plus cosine squared equals 1. So then I can subtract cosine from both sides, and I get that sine squared would be taking the square root of both sides, either positive or negative square root of 2. And now here is where we have to think about where we are. Is it positive or negative? Now sine corresponds to the y values. Okay, in quadrant 2, the x value, you go back and up. Okay, so since sine is the y value, it is positive in quadrant 2. Okay, so then that tells me that my cotangent would be equivalent to cosine theta over, I'm going to use that positive. Okay, so it'd be positive square root of 1 minus cosine squared theta. In quadrant 4. Okay, our goal in this section is really to be able to evaluate trig functions for any angle. And so a reference angle is going to be very helpful for us to be able to simplify these. So let's see, negative 225, that would be going clockwise. So I'd be going, let's see, this is 180, keep going. I'm going to figure out what that reference angle is, and we just denote that with theta with a bar over it. Okay, so we're back here at, this was negative 225. The reference angle is just this little section right in here, which is 45 degrees. And we're in quadrant 2. Okay, so quadrant 2 has a negative x, a positive y, sine. Okay, and sine is the y, so sine theta needs to be positive. So our problem simplifies down to, it's the same as thinking about sine of the reference angle, and we know that it's going to be positive because we're in quadrant 2, and we're dealing with sine, which is the y. Okay, so then you just pull out your unit circle. If you don't remember this one, it is square root of 2 over 2. Okay, let's do another one. Cosine of 240. I always like to just orient myself and figure out where I am. So it is positive, so I'm going around 180 and 240. Let's see, 240 minus 180. That is 60 degrees. So my reference angle here equals 60 degrees. Okay, now I'm also in quadrant 3. Cosine is talking about x values. In quadrant 3, both x and y are negative. So I need quadrant 3, cosine is negative. Okay, so that means it's going to need to be a negative value, and it is equivalent to cosine of the reference angle there. So cosine of 60 degrees is 1/2, but it needs to be negative because it's in quadrant 3. All right, good. So moving on, I've got tangent of 495. That's a pretty big angle. I'm just going to simplify it a little bit. Let's see, 495 minus 360, that's 135. Okay, so we think about that. So we're over here at 135, and our reference angle, that would be 45 degrees, but we're in quadrant 2, so tangent is negative in quadrant 2. Okay, so we orient ourselves, simplify our angle, figure out our reference and what the sign is of this. So I know my answer needs to be negative, and then it's going to have the equivalent value of tangent of 45. So my final answer is -1. Okay, 330. That one is almost to 360. We're right over here. So we've come all the way around 330 degrees. The reference angle is 30 degrees, but we're in quadrant 4. Okay, our problem is talking about cotangent, and cotangent is negative in quadrant 4. Okay, so now this is going to simplify. It's going to have the same value as cotangent of 30, but it's going to be, it needs to be negative. All right, now I don't have that one memorized. I'm just going to use the definition of cotangent. That's sine. Oh, I have that. That should be cosine. Cosine of 30 over sine of 30. And let's see, cosine of 30, that one I have memorized. That is square root of 3 over 2, and then sine of 30 is 1/2. So that ends up being negative square root of 3.